All right, let's talk about something that's working inside you right now, something that never, ever takes a break. I'm talking about your heart. We're going to break down what a heart attack is, what causes it, and this is the most important part, what you can do to protect it for a long, long time. So let's kick things off with a quick question. What do you think is the single hardest working muscle in your entire body? The one that literally never gets a day off. You guessed it, it's your heart. And for this explainer, we're going to treat it like the star of the show. Because let's be real, it totally is. So what does it do exactly? Well, think of your heart as this incredible, powerful muscle that just doesn't stop. It works 24/7, pumping blood full of oxygen to every single part of your body. I mean, from your brain all the way down to your toes, everything is counting on your heart to deliver the goods. But here's the thing. To do all that heavy lifting, the heart muscle itself needs fuel. It can't just run on empty. So it has its own special fuel supply, a network of blood vessels called the coronary arteries. You can just think of them as the heart's own personal fuel lines. Okay, so the heart has its own fuel lines. Simple enough, right? But what happens when those lines get clogged up, when there's a traffic jam? Well, that's where the real trouble starts. That's where we get into what a heart attack actually is. So a heart attack is basically when the blood flow to the heart gets blocked. And the main culprit here, it's usually a buildup of this gunk called plaque. It's like a sticky mix of fat and cholesterol and other stuff. When that plaque causes a blockage, the blood can't get through. And when that happens, a part of the heart muscle is starved of oxygen and starts to get damaged. It's a real emergency. Here's a great way to picture it. Think of that plaque buildup like rust that's slowly forming inside a pipe. This isn't something that happens overnight. Nope. It's a super gradual process that can take years. And all that time, it's narrowing the space for blood to get through. Okay, so how does that rust suddenly cause a total blockage? Well, it usually happens in a few steps. First, you've got that plaque building up for a long time. Then, for whatever reason, a piece of it breaks open. Your body's natural reaction is to fix the injury, so it forms a blood clot right over that break. But, and this is the crucial part, if that clot is big enough, it can totally seal off the artery. That's the moment a heart attack begins. All right, listen up, because this part is so important. Knowing the warning signs can literally save a life. Now, everyone thinks of that classic chest pain, right? That feeling of pressure or squeezing. And that's a big one for sure, but it's not the only one. You might feel pain in your arm, your jaw, or even your back. Also, be on the lookout for things like being short of breath, feeling sick to your stomach, or suddenly breaking out in a cold sweat. And here's something you absolutely have to remember. These symptoms are not the same for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. For some people, especially for women, the signs can be way more subtle. We're talking about things like extreme, unusual fatigue or what feels like bad indigestion. So it's so important to be aware of all the different ways your body might be trying to tell you something's wrong. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, but now let's flip the script and talk about something really empowering, risk factors. This is where we stop talking about what can go wrong and start focusing on what we can do right. It's all about what you can actually control. So when you look at the risks, they basically fall into two buckets. In one bucket, you've got the stuff you can't change, right? Like your age or your family's medical history. But then look at the other bucket. It is way bigger. This is all the stuff you can control. These are the lifestyle factors, and this is where your power really lies. Take something like high stress. You might think it's just in your head, but it's not. Stress releases hormones that can jack up your blood pressure, putting real physical strain on your arteries over time. All right, let's get to the good part, the solution. This is all about taking charge. It's about really understanding that the choices you make today are literally shaping your heart's future. And you know what? Here's the really good news. This isn't about fate. It's not written in stone. There is so much you can do starting this very second to protect your heart and seriously lower your risk. So what does that actually look like? What's the toolkit? Well, it comes down to a handful of really clear, doable choices. We're talking about the obvious stuff, sure. Eating a healthy diet, moving your body, and definitely not smoking or vaping. But it's also about the things we sometimes forget, like finding ways to manage stress, making sure you get good sleep, and actually going for those regular checkups to know your numbers. I know, that list can feel like a lot. So let's just focus on one simple, powerful number for a second. 30. Just 30 minutes. That's it. The science is clear on this. Just half an hour of getting your body moving each day makes a huge difference for your heart. It's totally doable, and the payoff is massive. So you might be thinking, why is this important for me now? Well, here's why, and this is maybe the biggest takeaway of all. So many heart problems that show up later in life are directly linked to habits that we start when we're young. The choices you're making today, you're not just living for today. You are literally building the foundation for your health for decades to come. You're protecting your future self. So let's boil it all down to the essentials. Think of this as your mission, if you choose to accept it. It's simple. Keep moving, eat smart, find a way to handle your stress, and stay away from nicotine and other drugs. That's the core of it. Look, at the end of the day, it's a pretty simple but powerful idea. When you take care of yourself, you are taking care of that amazing, hardworking muscle in your chest. And you only get one, right? So trust me, your heart will thank you for it. So I want to leave you with one last question. This isn't about a massive overnight life overhaul. It's just about starting. So what's one small, positive choice you can make for your heart today, right now?